It's Monday, the 10th of June. I'm Randy Kure with another edition of What's Up the Sports Podcast. Hope all is well, and thank you so much for joining us. If you are catching tonight's episode via your favorite podcatcher, thank you so much for the download. We are coming at you live on YouTube at What's Up Podcast. You could also find What's Up the Sports Podcast on Twitter, Instagram, Threads at What's Up Podcast. Lots of big happenings taking place as we speak in the world of sports. Of course, the NBA Finals and the Stanley Cup Final is taking place. Stanley Cup Final is tonight in about half an hour's time as we tape tonight's podcast, as well as a lot more. As per usual, we have the roundtable assembled for your listening pleasure. And all three guests are, in fact, first-timers here on What's Up the Sports Podcast. Leading off, we have a big sports fan who is all things Boston. Really enjoyed listening to him on Twitter live spaces, if that's what you want to call it. I don't know what these kids are calling these things these days. Find him at Patcast 154312. Patcast is here. Patcast, what's going on?
What's going on? How we doing?
Doing great. I do have to ask, what's up with the number? Was it just a number that Elon spit out at you, or is there an actual meaning to the number?
It was the number the algorithm gave me. It has really no meaning.
Okay, fair enough. Well, hey, great to have you on. Next, we have a fellow Massachusetts native who, like Patcast, is all things Boston. He is co-host of the Ocho Sports Podcast on YouTube. Catch him at Stone_podcast on Twitter, as well as on Twitch at Stone Sports Podcast. Dubs.
That's the same for Instagram, too.
And it is the same for Instagram. What's happening, Dubs?
Chilling, man. Appreciate having us on.
No, pleasure's definitely mine. Last and certainly not least, he is the co-host along with Dubs on the Ocho Sports Podcast. Like Dubs as well as Patcast, he pledges his allegiance to the New England Patriots, but he does have a mixed bag, cheering for teams like my Raptors and my Blue Jays. However, he is a fan of the Montreal Canadiens, but definitely still appreciate his work. Follow him on Instagram at Armchair Commentary. My fellow Canadian Armchair is here. Armchair, thank you so much. Really looking forward to tonight.
What's up? Podcast, Dubs, your socks suck. Suck it. This is the one time I get to say it. You guys are actually beating us in the standings, but you know.
I was going to say, you're below us.
You're just telling us what we already know.
Yes.
You were supposed to be good. I was supposed to be where you are. You don't start this. You don't want that. You don't want that.
Don't act like we had expectations.
We had zero. You guys did.
We have an owner who thinks we're assets.
I was on the preview show. I know. I was there. It was supposed to be worse.
Like an actual roster, whereas ours is Rafi Devers versus the world and a couple other
Jaren Duran. More triples than like
Jaren Duran's a fucking dog. If I could bottle up what he runs off of and inject it into my veins every morning, I'd be a superstar.
More triples.
But I mean, you got to think that at some point Boston's going to pick it up. I mean, Boston just has.
I'm up 2-0 in the finals, baby. I don't need him to pick up anything else.
Okay, so you're okay for the Red Sox.
Don't care what happens.
For a little
Red Sox can suck. Patriots can suck. The Bruins can get bounced the first round like they do every other year. I'll be fine as long as we get the Celtics championship. I can live off that for a couple more years, and then we can shift our focus somewhere else.
Okay, fair enough. But I mean, Boston does seem to be. Is Boston a baseball town? I mean, Toronto, where I live, is a hockey town. Maybe you can say the same thing for St. Louis with baseball, but
I'll say it was. It changed after all the Patriots championships. Every person I know watches every single Patriots game, but the other ones are kind of, if you're a big sports fan, you're going to watch everything, but it's a Patriots town now. You can't win 100%. You can't win 6 Super Bowls and then it still be a baseball town. It was back in the day, but again, as things have evolved and it's changed, it's just shifted to what's
you
winning.
lose Pappy, you lose Pedroia, you
Correct.
lose all those guys that were like ties to the old guard. You lose Damon to the Yankees, and he shaved his head and his beard like a dummy.
Boston's also unique in the fact that something can be bad at the moment, and it doesn't matter. You can shift your focus somewhere else. Like I said, Red Sox, I don't care what happens. The Celtics are in the finals. Everyone in the city will rally around the Celtics for the next couple weeks, and then you'll shift your focus somewhere else. If it goes wrong, guess what? Somebody else is going to be good.
Boston sports is
We're blessed.
super simple to figure out. Whichever team is winning is the kind of town it is. If it's
Correct.
if it's the Bruins, it's the Bruins. If it's the Celtics, it's the C's, and if it's the Patriots, it's the Patriots. And if all of them are trash, it's the Patriots.
I mean, that's every town, though. I think every sports town has their highs.
No way.
No, I'm saying like they have their highs and lows. Where like you'll have that one particular group that has like their really good team during the season, and then you'll have the one sort of part of the sports town that like nobody really wants to talk about. Right now, for us, it's the Red Sox. We don't care about the Red Sox. We don't want to invest in it as a product. We care about the Patriots, the Celtics. Those are our fortes.
My only argument against it is all of those teams are competitive at one point or another in the last 6 or 7 years. Whereas
100%.
in Toronto, and this is a great example, pulling in the lowly Maple Leafs. Toronto is still a Maple Leafs town, in spite of their inability to get past the first round, save but once. And the Raptors won a championship, and you thought, man, it's going to be a Raptors town.
You bought a championship.
And still got the ring, baby. Still got the ring.
Still
better. You went and got Kawhi because DeMar couldn't get it done. But
sure, but that was not a buy. That was not like the Florida Marlins.
You bought up
25.
Yeah, but they still got the ring. Still got the ring, baby.
You did. I'm not faulting you for it. I'm just saying.
No, sure. But I mean, like, it's one thing to if you guys remember the 97 Marlins, I mean, that was a buy. I mean, the Raptors, they did a trade for Kawhi. And
it was an expensive trade, and now they're feeling it. But I'm just saying,
That's
Raptors win. You'd think maybe the Raptors are going to take over. They don't really. I mean, it's still the Raptors are beloved, and the Blue Jays are beloved, but Toronto is a Maple Leafs town first, and it's above all else. Whereas I can go to Boston and wear my Jays hat and not catch any shade, or I can wear my Raptors hat and not catch much shade. But like, if the Celtics are hot, you're a C's town. Right. Everybody's wearing their Paul Pierce gear out. Everybody's like wearing their throwbacks. Everybody's got that. If all of a sudden the Sox are in the World Series, though,
it's a Sox town.
It's a Sox town.
But because of the amount of winning the Patriots have done in the last 20 years, that's why it became that.
God
as soon as, and again, the Celtics are in the finals right now. As soon as that happens, every single person is fully invested in the Celtics.
Yeah.
And
as soon as training camp opens, we're all Drake May fans. I know. I get
Correct.
it. Look,
we're blessed enough to be able to have options.
We are who we are. We are who they think we are.
Pretty much.
Definitely the city of champions. Absolutely. I mean, I am a little surprised because
I lead the nation of parades attended.
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, like how many has it been? Like, it has been so 2000.
I don't know, but
because I remember
too long. I can tell you that.
Like I remember because I'm a number of years older than you guys. Like Boston was very, very foreign to championships, and then 2004 comes along, and then it's like every year there's all the duck boats are heading along for another sports parade. And
even before that, we won before
2001.
Oh, I'm sorry, of course, with the Patriots, of course.
He is right though, because it was just the Patriots at that point. The Red Sox, as soon as the Red Sox broke the curse, it lifted the lid off of everything.
It's like after the Patriots won, that kind of set off like the quote unquote.
We're like, oh shit, we can win. Yeah.
That eventually occurred with the Red Sox eventually breaking the curse. Then the Patriots dynasty was born with 3 Super Bowls. The
Then you get
Celtics would
08
eventually.
and 11 and all
Exactly.
these other ones start
Exactly.
racking up. Oh, but goddamn, I need a Celtics championship desperately. I need it. It's been too long.
Well, I mean,
I will cry. 100%. I'm gonna cry when
We'll be at that parade.
Oh yeah,
we will be at that parade.
I'm gonna have every illness in the book. I will be there.
We're gonna have unknown illnesses.
Yeah,
season 6
yet to be discovered illnesses.
Test me, coach.
So wait a minute. Now, I heard, and like I said to you guys before we went to air, that I'm not the biggest NFL guy in the world, but that there were a few boos when Tom Brady returned to Foxborough, or is that overblown? I mean, like,
are you talking about the Tampa game or?
Yeah,
because he left.
Right. Okay, that's fair enough. I thought you were talking about when he came back for the jersey thing. I was like, I know nothing about that.
No. But when
as an opposing player, because
you're gonna
Boston versus everybody. That's how it is.
It happened just like when Mookie came back recently. It's when a great player, a generational talent, the expectation is you're born in the jersey, you're born in the uniform, you die in it. Once you leave, you're either public enemy number one or it's a love-hate story.
It happened
with Damon, it happened with Mookie, it happened with Brady.
But it's not even just when they leave. Patriot fans in particular are a ruthless breed of fan, and I can tell you this: I'm at
Patriots or Boston fans.
No, Patriots.
Boston,
Patriots particular. Boston fans in general, but more so on the Patriot side of things.
I agree with that.
I was at a game. I was at the Rainbows and Unicorns game where Brady throws the touchdown pass to the back corner,
all time,
and it's an incredible radio call. And during that game, Amendola took a hit on the sideline and dropped the ball. And I remember all we heard was in the stands. This is in a home stadium. Brady's a bum. Get that guy out of here. He went on to win 2 more rings. He went on to win 2 more rings for the team at this point. Get him out of here. Amendola sucks. That guy's dead. I wish he wasn't on the roster. And it is ruthless. If you drop the ball one time.
Let alone somebody that just up and leaves. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, look at Kyrie right now in the finals.
Yeah, 100%.
He hasn't done a damn thing. Turnover after turnover, dribbling off your foot, and you're going to tell me that's not the crowd? Okay,
they appreciate him after the fact. You come back once you're retired, you get your flowers, you get your praise. But
in the moment, when you're still playing and you're actively against us, you are against us. I don't care what you do.
Kyrie left Boston rather unceremoniously.
Correct. Yes. And I'm saying that's what I'm saying. We will give it to Brady. What do you expect us to give it to Kyrie like?
Fair enough.
That's the difference is Brady gave us championships. Kyrie didn't give us anything. Kyrie quit on
I'm telling you, it doesn't matter what you did. If Brady, the highest echelon of happiness is Tom Brady giving the Patriots rings. We don't care. If you're playing against us currently in the game, you are an enemy, and that is the end of the story.
People forget Brady went to Kraft and said, I wanted to leave. Kraft said we would do anything possible to keep him to stay, but he earned the right to leave. Tom earned the right to leave. Kyrie didn't earn anything. He left. He came in the hero. He left the villain. He lied.
No, I completely get it. I completely get it for sure. And I mean, we're definitely going to talk about Kyrie and, we might as well, no time like the present, get into it right now. And of course, it has been a few years since Boston has won the Larry O'Brien, 2008 to be exact. First 2 games, Patcast. It's been a pretty dominant performance by the Celtics.
Not even, and that's the problem. We played like shit the first 2 games, and we still won both of them.
Somehow,
nearly 20.
But I think what I was getting at was that no matter how poor Boston was, especially in Game 2, it seemed like it was that the game was never in doubt, that Boston was still going to take it. I mean, Patcast, we'll start with you. Like, what's the scene like in Boston? Are you guys getting ready for championship number 18?
Well, I think realistically, yes, because the way that the Celtics have been playing this entire playoffs, regardless of whether you want to make the opponent argument or not, it's just the fact that they got here, they won, they did what they have to do, and that's to be expected. When you're the number one team in the NBA, when you're the best team in the NBA, you're only going to get as far as everybody thinks you are. And here in Boston, we thought you would get to this point. I can tell you that at the end of the day, and I said this to Houdat Nation, we're not satisfied yet. At some point, we don't care if they get to the Eastern Conference Finals. It's not good enough. The ultimate goal is to win a championship. That's how you get into these I'm pointing. You can't see my finger, but that's how you get into the Raptors. That's how you are immortalized. The way Garnett, the way Pierce, the way Rondo eventually will be. That is the legacy of being a Boston Celtic and being a sports fan. Now, they still got to do it. And I can tell you that having listening to a lot of people and spoken to a lot of people, the expectations couldn't be higher. But they still got to do it. And I think that whether we want to call it premature or not, you go up 2-0 the way it's been going. Let's just call it what it is, though. We're a better team. We have better talent, and they've had no answers. Kyrie Irving can only do so much as to carry the team on his back when his second best player in Kyrie Irving hasn't been able to produce. And when when one can't be good and the other is, and everybody else can't either, that's when things start to fall apart. Last night was a perfect example where even when the Celtics struggled, when they weren't able to make the threes, when they weren't able to get offensive production, everybody outside of Kyrie on the Mavs couldn't produce. And that gave Boston the opportunity to stay in the game, and that there never was a doubt mode. So they're undefeated on the road this entire postseason. You can take that as you will.
You kept saying Kyrie, Luka. You're talking about Luka, correct?
No, I'm saying Luka's been the better player for Dallas. Kyrie hasn't done anything.
You kept saying Kyrie.
Yeah, I'm saying Kyrie as in they expected Kyrie and Luka to produce, and only one of them has. The other one, I don't know what's up with him. Apparently he just can't get the fans out of his head. I don't know. I'm not going to speak for him. I don't care. I really don't. Like if he wants to.
No, of course. Why should you?
If he wants to say I've changed and I've reached a higher power, God bless you. I don't care. I care about my team and I care about our success, not whatever is going on with you, whatever it, may be. But we're in the present, and look, if this is the Dallas Mavericks team we're getting now, which is the role players can't show up, their second best player can't show up, they're going to lose, plain and simple. I have the Celtics losing on the road at some point in this series because I think at some point Dallas will catch up to them. I still have the Celtics winning. I never predicted this was going to be a sweep, but we're getting closer and closer to breaking out some Red Auerbach cigars and revving up the duck boats. I can promise you that.
Yeah, no, well, and it has been a couple of years since Boston has celebrated a championship, and I say that literally because every time you see the end of a season, it seems that Boston is always lifting up a glass of champagne. And
it's been too long, Randy. Fiending. I'm scratching my neck.
Speaking from a guy from Toronto, I have zero sympathy for you. And
do I look like David Pasternak for taking your anger out on me?
That Pasternak goal, but you know what? After experiencing 2013, I was
"You're welcome."
Yeah, and it didn't affect me at all, that Pasternak Game 7. But Dubs, I do have to ask you. Obviously Boston just absolutely killed it in the regular season. 64 wins. They were 7 games clear of any other team in the entire league. They've had a pretty dominant performance this postseason, you could say. I mean, yeah, sure, Cleveland didn't have Donovan Mitchell and Indiana didn't have Tyrese Halliburton, but
he did. They had him for most of the series.
most of the series, sure.
Same for Donovan. Mitchell played 3 games, so I'll give you that one. But Halliburton was there for the majority, and he's what cost them in game 1.
But you could say that Boston didn't have much of a challenge for the playoffs, and here they are in the finals with a clear 2-0, if you want to call it a stranglehold. But that being said, I mean, is it going to be a win or bust if Dallas finds a way of getting back into the series, making it interesting, maybe get ahead, maybe take up?
It's not. The media will spin it to be that way. I mean, even just what you said there, all I've heard leading up to the finals is how we've had zero competition, injuries. We didn't have to face anybody. What do we play the regular season for? We had the best record in the league. That means we face an 8 seed. We have home court advantage through the whole postseason. That's what you play the regular season for. It's not my fault people get injured. We're still the best team in the league. Our depth compared to Dallas, you can see it in the first 2 games. It's absolutely ridiculous, the difference. Peyton Pritchard subbing himself into the game to bank shot a 3 from half court to end one of the quarters, where the Mavericks are subbing in Hardy and just going, run down the floor. I don't know. We'll throw something up there and hope it works. Kyrie's shook. Luka's trying his absolute heart out. That picture with him and 7 different ice packs all around his body like football pads was a wild visual. But it's not a bust. It's not a win or bust situation. We could lose this. It doesn't matter. We have all of these guys locked up for the next 3 years minimum. Tatum has his supermax to sign whenever they want to do that. They could even ride it out with another year if they want to do the player option, whatever they want to do. Tatum's coming back. Brown's signed. Porzingis is signed. Peyton Pritchard is signed off the bench. Al Horford is an ageless wonder. I don't know how long he's going to play. But no, I don't think this is win or bust. I think this is the start of a dynasty. I think Brad Stevens took his coaching prowess and his familiarity with the team that he was coaching and said, I know how to make this better. Went into the front office. He made all of the right moves, and look at where we are. We're set up with new ownership who's willing to pay and deal with the luxury tax, whatever the salary cap ends up being, because we will be over. We'll be way over for a while. Not every owner is going to take that. Shout out John Henry. The fact of the matter is we are set up for a 3 to 4 year run here. We could lose this and still have 2 to 3 more shots at this. It doesn't matter. And now the fact you're up 2-0, that just makes me even more confident in the fact that we're going to turn this into something even more special than just a 1-year run.
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but seeing the payroll of the Celtics and next year,
astronomical,
crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. What I was specifically going to get to was that Jaylen Brown is going to be making $15 million more than Jason Tatum. I don't know about you guys, but that would make me one salty. 15.
Oh, okay. I was like, what?
Yeah.
My bad. 15,
and I mean,
you are right.
Yeah, and the next season, 25-26, that is going to be $16 million. I mean, I can only imagine
he's going to get a
supermax before that.
Yeah.
So it doesn't even matter.
So yeah.
But just look at Jason Kidd's comments. He just tried to sew into the media. He's like, Jaylen Brown's their best player. And every single Celtics player that was asked about those comments laughed it off and had the exact same answer.
Yeah.
They don't care about that shit. They want to win. That's why this roster is so good. That's why Brad Stevens switched. He knew exactly how to mesh all of these guys together. He got the coaching side and the front office side, and he nailed both of them. This team is set up for 3 to 4 more years. There's no win or bust. We could win this and kick off something crazy, or we're going to be just fine next year.
Definitely looking to be that way. Armchair, I mean, it's really fair to say, I was going to ask you, what Dallas or what the X factor would be for either team to come out on top. But I mean, it is very fair to say that Kyrie Irving definitely needs to step up his game. I mean, beyond that,
go home and not listen to the ghost in his head. I love Sam Darnold.
But beyond that, I mean, what do you think, Armchair, in terms of what Dallas needs to make this series relevant?
They need an unreal performance from two guys on the team. It's it. That team has been two guys. It's been Kyrie. It's been Luka. And if Luka can take over the way that he is absolutely capable of doing, I think Luka's got the qualities of an MVP of the league. I think he is an incredible player. I think that Boston has 5 times the amount of depth that Dallas has. Dallas has to come out and really push two guys into like, get on my back, let's go, to get this thing done. And I don't think there's any other way around it, to be honest with you. Truly, this is going to be a series of what the Celtics are willing to give them. And I don't think it gets anywhere beyond that. Do I think Boston coughs up a game here? Yes. Why? Because they've done it not just in the playoffs, but literally all year long.
The last half decade, we've done that. This whole core, everything, we've always done that. It drives me fucking crazy.
I am not about to proclaim them champions, but Celtics in 6 is real firm in my head. It could be 5. The way that I thought last night was the game that the Mavs needed, and that block was absolutely just unreal. And it just kind of it felt like it took the wind out of their sails.
I was on season 6 from this jump, and then after the first 2 games I've swung to 5. I think they'll steal 1 while they're in Dallas, and we wrap it up after that.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. But I also there's the sports fan in me has fear of calling game before, like
100%.
You know what I mean?
Every time I say something positive, I'm like, you could be jinxing it. It could be 100% your fault.
This is your fault. I don't know if you know this.
Yeah,
that's what being a Celtics fan a fan is.
You know,
we have this moment of glory and hope, and then somehow, some way.
Do you know what happened though? It happened all 3 of us. It's 28-3. We have eternal hope because of 28-3. It's going to be that way forever.
Yeah.
There was no reason that we were going to win.
Not one reason, not an ounce of a reason. It was
it happened.
I remember texting people being like, "Oh, it's over with dead. The dynasty's dead. Get rid of everyone," and just texting people at halftime, be like, "No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine." And then being able to double down on that after, which is just absolutely no expectation of being able to do so.
There's infinite hope.
Infinite hope, always, forever, and always. We're gonna
except for the Red Sox. Full throttle, baby. Full
throttle.
See, that's why I'm such a pessimist, because as you guys got 28-3, I got 4-1 with 12 minutes to go in the third period in my mind. So I mean, hey, remember, I'm a Leaf fan. So.
I watch that like every 3 months, and I just
the greatest thing.
That was
the greatest.
That was
Patrice Bergeron just owning a franchise for 11 minutes of a hockey game it was top tier.
Only to them,
and it couldn't have happened to a better guy.
I know. Only to have Brad Marchand inherit it.
Even better.
Is there salt to that podcast? Are you not a Marchand guy?
I love Marchand.
Oh, okay. Because sorry,
it did. No, Randy, you're right.
It sounded a little salty.
There was some vitriol to that.
I thought there was vitriol, but I mean,
vinegar. No, it's fine. You're not a Brad guy podcast. It's fine.
Listen,
I'm writing it down. That's all. I'm putting notes in.
Just taking it to the team.
Not taking notes.
I'm taking mental notes, brother.
Taking
always.
it to the team. Got my receipts.
Yeah.
I got my receipts when these finals are over, and I'm in Boston filming the parade.
That would be great.
So hold on.
Still not a Brad.
As we're talking about Bergeron here, let me throw it to you guys. I mean, where is Bergeron in the Mount Rushmore of Boston, superstars amongst these last 30 years.
He's
Why?
not.
Top 10.
It's unfortunate that he's not. He should be. He's
Top
not.
10.
Like in the past 20, past
I agree
30
with Armchair.
years.
He's top 10. He's off the dome. Not really thinking about it. He's probably 7.
He's got to be up there, but I
He's
feel
not
like
top 4 though.
But I feel like I think of him in the same way I think of a lot of those Bruins from that era, that they've underachieved. You know, like
yeah, that's the problem. They don't have anything to show for it.
Mike Bergeron is probably in my lifetime the greatest Boston Bruin to have ever hit the ice. But I can openly acknowledge as a fan, he had an underachieving career. Should have had at least, in my opinion, at least 2
I think he
Stanley
should have
Cups.
3.
And when I think of Bergeron, kind of in the same light, where I'm like, at least another opportunity could have presented itself in his career. And now we're kind of just seeing a guy who is becoming the sort of like the old aging out leader. You give him the captain role sort of thing. But we all kind of know, like, he's just not the same guy anymore. Do you know what I mean?
I do, but I mean, I gotta tell you,
he deserves to be on the Mount Rushmore. He's just not. It's unfortunate. He has 1 ring. You know who else has 1 ring? Johnny Gomes.
I know, and that's
Mafia. Stephen Pierce. It sucks. It hurts. He should be up there. He should have 3 rings and be the guy. But he's not.
Problem is you had a team that beat a historically awful curse to win championships. Like they were the team. Like every other year, it was like Sox win, Sox suck, Sox win. Like that's how it went. And you have so many guys from the pitcher. Like you're going to tell me you're not going to put Pedro on there.
The other thing, correct.
On there.
And the other thing is you're such a historical sports city, and you have all of these runs. I guarantee you on the Mount Rushmore for Boston sports is Tom Brady and David Ortiz, and you have to pick 2 other people from a group this fucking wide.
Yeah. Hockey players won't even make and as hockey guys,
they're not on there.
They're not on there. They just won't make. They won't make it. They won't make the.
There's
cut.
6 basketball guys.
Adam Vinatieri.
Correct. Vinatieri would be on there before 1 hockey player, and it's not right. I hope.
Isn't that crazy though?
Like that, but that's how it is.
It's crazy.
It's crazy, but like, tell me that Paul Pierce isn't on that list.
I mean, I could.
Is Kevin on that list? KG?
Are we just talking Mount Rushmore?
He's equal with
Boston?
Bergeron. Pierce and KG are equal with Bergeron on that list, which is why you can't put him on there.
Pierce is equal to Bergeron?
Yeah.
Yes.
How many rings?
I would have thought in terms of Boston sports fans that Pierce would be way more revered than Bergeron.
Think of it like this. We're talking about 2 guys who defined an era of sports.
Bergeron's a career Bruin. He got the captain spot. Paul Pierce, while yes, basically a career Celtic, he got 1 ring. He means a lot to the city. He still comes back. He was at Celtic. He was shooting around with the Celtics like before game 1 of the finals.
He was there yesterday. He was just there.
Right.
And we're only limiting this to 20 years. We're not even including Larry Bird.
That's what I'm saying. There's so many. You
know what I mean? Like if you expand the list, it's like.
But if you had to pick 1 Bruin since 2000 to put on some sort of list
Bergeron.
Achievement, it's Bergeron.
It's Bergeron.
It's without a question.
He's the first guy,
hands down.
Chara's second, and then after that we can debate.
Chara's second. Okay, I was thinking Marchand myself.
No, it's Chara.
No, it's Chara.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Brad's probably 3rd.
Okay, but I mean, I think I know the reason why, and it's because hockey players just have this mindset of being duller than dishwater. If you tell me now, of course, Brad Marchand, he has some moxie now. Sure, Boston, like the Bruins have. Say it again.
He never didn't. He always did.
Right off the rip. 2011, he came out with moxie.
No, that's what I meant. But I mean, like what I'm saying is
they had to retire the soda because Brad Marchand took the name over.
But hang on. You're comparing it from hockey player to hockey player. If you ask me, KG has way more personality. Paul Pierce has way more personality. David Ortiz, Manny Ramirez.
But that's also because there's mics in their face constantly.
Well, what about hockey players? They have mics in their face.
Not
Hockey
as much as
players
the
do
rest
not
of the
have
sports.
any personality, and they are not doing themselves any favors at all.
They are all the same. I'll give you that. They all talk
Right.
the same. They have the same
80%.
mannerisms.
80%.
Oh,
Yeah.
Armchair. No, I'm going 90, 95.
Wow.
It's 80. It's 80%.
Other than PK Subban,
Matt
maybe
Rempe,
Roberto Lobos.
Marchand, Luongo. Like I can give you guys, but they never get an opportunity. The American sports
they don't get an opportunity.
The American
talk.
sports landscape is way undervalued in terms of like appreciating hockey, and they just don't watch. There's lots of guys that do it. Give me Tom
go
Wilson.
On YouTube right now. You can find top tier, like A-level interviews from your favorite hockey player, and the podcast that's interviewing them has 500 views, 600 views, 700 views.
Unless it's Barstool.
Correct, but they don't get the same amount of exposure or opportunities or all of these things to talk. It's they don't get the same level of exposure.
They don't get the same, but I mean, I think it's.
I don't think that's a fault on. I really don't think that's a fault on them. I think you could have more star material shit coming out of this league if you just got more. Again, those interviews are fantastic. All the Spittin' Chicklets interviews are great. 100%. Baseball players are the worst. They're all.
They used to be though. That's why we had when we had Poppy, when we had Pedro, when we had guys with personalities.
This is our fucking city.
Do you know why? Do you know why that is though? It's because we had rivalries. We had like
we talked about this recently.
We had true blue rivalries, and in the NHL we had the same thing. There were true blue, like you need teams to be good. You need Montreal and Boston to be good at the same time. You need that Toronto Boston rivalry. That game had like some of the highest rated like hits that we've seen for hockey in a long time.
Yep.
South of the border. Like we've seen,
Guess what? Those games did fantastic numbers, and then Boston, Florida did even higher numbers.
Yes, they did.
But now, and this is a question that I don't know. How did it do outside of Massachusetts? How did it do in?
No, I'm talking national.
That's national.
That's national.
Okay,
level.
fair enough. Yeah. Fair enough. Because, like, I mean, I don't know what hockey ratings are like in the U.S. now. I mean, you have seen an increase. Because
Bruins
of TNT.
Panthers, game 1 was the highest rated NHL game in the last like 5 years nationally in 2018, 6 years.
Okay, so that
50% of the reason is because Paul Bissonnette is on the TNT crew, and people want to see him fall on his face and get made fun of by Wayne Gretzky and
especially when the Leafs are out.
King Henrik. As soon as
that was the first coverage that was on NHL wise after the Leafs were eliminated. That also helps.
Shout out to Steve Dangle, though. We get good content when they lose.
Dangle is a national treasure, and
we love Dangle.
He knows how to be the butt of a joke. He's great at it.
He embraces his Leaf fandom.
Sure does.
But I gotta say though, I mean, Paul Bissonnette, he's a relatively recent phenomenon, and this is exactly what hockey needs. I mean, you cannot have an 85-year-old Don Cherry be the voice of your sport. And, you need to have new blood. I'm saying, like, I don't know if you caught the interview. That woman who flashed, who rolled up her tarp.
Yeah.
And did you catch Spittin' Chicklets interviewing her? It
wasn't her, though. They got baited.
Yeah, they got baited.
Did they get baited? Okay,
it
wasn't her.
It was a bait. It wasn't her.
RA
got baited.
I saw the interview like about an hour or two ago.
Yeah.
I didn't catch that they actually confirmed it.
Yeah.
Okay, that kind of lost my point.
But I mean,
what I am saying,
I'll counter with this. I'm old enough to remember Johnny Most. I remember having a guy who, while he was old, while he was, maybe not the young, sprightly kind of personality, he had a personality. You had a guy who could like instill energy and a guy who could bring life into a game. The way we see guys who try to kind of come up with these gimmicks now, like a Tony Romo, like a John Madden. They try to sort of find things like these zingers, like sort of these sort of kind of all sort of memorable phrases. Johnny Most didn't need that. He came up with his own style that we all loved. And it didn't matter that he was old, and it didn't matter that maybe he wasn't the new guy on the block. Everybody loved Johnny, and everybody was rooting for him. And we knew, like Jack Edwards, he was a biased commentator, but we loved it. And everybody else hated it.
Regional broadcasts have to have that.
They do.
I think the trick is finding a good national crew. And the NFL does a great job of this because they have different tiers of crews. For your national game gets their best. Your Fox game gets their best. And whether you love them or hate them, everybody has an opinion on who's in the box for the Sunday night football game or Monday night football or the Sunday afternoon on Fox kick. Everybody has an opinion on whether Joe Buck is good at football commentary.
And guess what? Whoever's paying him that check doesn't give a fuck.
No.
As long as there's an opinion, they're going to watch.
That's right.
So that's what they care about.
The
more people hate them, the more they're going to put them on TV. That's how it works.
In Canada, we have legendary broadcasters we had Harry Cole and Dick Irvin, Harry Neal and Bob Cole and Dick Irvin. All those guys were the originators of Hockey Night in Canada. And sadly, I think all three of them at this point have passed on. And now
Bob Cole. Well, actually, Cole and Harry Neal are still with us. But anyway, sorry, please go ahead. Go ahead.
They're not broadcasting anymore, I guess.
No.
But so now we're looking for that new voice. And I think that we should be embracing the PK Subbans who were electric on the ice, but also have an opinion and want to talk about this and bring bias to the box. Where's the bias? I want that. I want to see someone say, I don't like this because of that. I think that you've got way too much reliance on trying to create a generic product, way too much on is this good enough? Sure. But give me the full on biased opinion all day, every day. Yeah. Give me that. Give me someone that's got a little bit of spice, a little bit of sauce. I'll take that with a balance. The whole point of color commentary is to add color, not to give me the bland blah blah blah. Oh, you're not there to interject statistics. You're there to give me flavor.
I gotta ask the floor here because I'm a big Toronto FC fan, and the color commentators Stephen Caldwell, former member of TFC, he does have that spice. However, it's not always as a homer. He's very critical of Toronto FC as a color commentator, and personally, I enjoy that as well. I don't think any fan likes that. Your boy Jack Edwards, for example. Now you guys tell me. Is he critical on the team, or is he always rah?
No. Always rah. He's
always rah.
Yeah.
So
I'm not a huge Jack Edwards guy. I'll get that out
Jack.
there now.
I
like him. He's got some iconic calls, like we talked about earlier. The Leafs comeback.
Yeah,
Jack was phenomenal on all those calls. There's some great ones I love out there, but there's always been shit where he'll be on a rant. I'll be like, "What are we doing? What are you talking about right now?" He's always kind of had something where he rubs me the wrong way. But I also, real quick on Johnny Most, all-time Mount Rushmore bad Google photos. If you type in Johnny Most, the first picture that comes up is him falling asleep at the desk. It's a bad picture.
Ash, I can't remember this or not. Maybe it's just
Dubs.
Because it's been Dubs. I can't. Sorry.
You can read the Discord.
Dubs. I can't remember it because it's been such a long time ago. Do you remember if Remy was ever critical of the Red Sox?
For sure, definitely.
Because
people would be out there, and I remember bullpen calls. Somebody would come out there, and he'd be like, and then he would be like, "This guy had this ERA in this situation. I don't know why we're going with him." He was definitely critical of the Red Sox. Remy is one of the all-time commentators. I wish he got national exposure. Out of Orsello and Remy, Orsello's a great commentator.
They
He
were the
should get
best.
national exposure. And we were blessed with the greatest combo of announcers we could have
Loved it.
gotten. But Remy should have been the one on national color commentary. Orsello's great, but Remy was top tier. You cannot get a better color guy than that.
Same with Tommy.
Yeah, Tommy too. Tommy was fantastic.
Tommy
If
was
those
awesome.
guys were on national coverage, they would have fucking killed it.
Tommy
Every
was on
person-
national. He was on
Right.
ABC.
He was on ABC. That's a good call. You're right. I forgot about that. But same point. Those guys are fantastic color guys, and you need that for the experience.
I don't want to watch
It doesn't-
White
I don't-
Rice.
Right.
Right.
I need the guys
But-
that are going to be biased and
it's
have
awesome.
opinions and let it fly a little bit.
Well, you know what? So I'm with you, but if they're only going one way and it's always in a positive sense, or that the call didn't go the right way, if they're not 100% legit, and if they can show
Like Doris
criticism
Burke drives me crazy.
and so on. Who's that?
Doris Burke. She does that
Philadelphia.
shit with Celtics constantly.
Philadelphia in a nutshell.
Yeah, she wants the Sixers in the finals every single year. That's what she wants. It's
But I mean,
drives
like,
me
I'm
crazy.
sorry-
I don't like it. I don't enjoy it. But again, people hate on her so much. The ESPN is like, all right, bet we got 50,000 tweets about Doris Burke from the last coverage, so we're gonna put her in there.
Of course, we're going to put her in there. Why wouldn't you?
You want to talk
Doesn't
about
matter
bias?
what she says. They don't even care.
But-
Talk
As
about
long as they're
bias.
getting the clicks, who gives a shit?
Check out NBC Philadelphia. Those guys are insufferable. Biased is probably too kind a word. In my opinion.
they're giving it both ways, or
No, it's
I have no
it's as
idea.
if like the opinions of other people don't matter.
That's because
That
they
type
don't.
of perspective. You know what I mean?
Fuck opinions.
They can do no wrong.
My
you know what I
opinion,
mean.
and that's it.
It's
Yeah.
awful.
Okay. Fair enough. Before we get into hockey, guys, I did want to pose this one. And first of all, I do want to give a shout out to the Voice of the Fans Sportscast. I've joined their roundtable. They're from Mississippi. So Swift, RC, thank you so much for joining us. But I have always asked this question about what is a superstar, especially in the NBA, because you watch all these shows, whether it's First Take and Undisputed, whatever it is. I keep on hearing the word superstar with players that should not have that kind of status. I think that if you are the leader of a team and you win a championship and MVPs, then you're on superstar level. I don't think Damian Lillard is a superstar. Or
Disagree.
you disagree?
I disagree as well.
That's what I wanted to.
I think it depends on the
please.
league. I think it depends on the league entirely. I think that in the NBA, a superstar is someone who is the face of the team, can carry the team, and has brought you victories. So Dame would be a great example of someone who can do that. Is he like the face of the league? No. Is he a superstar? Sure. The NBA has superstars. They're marketable. If you see Dame in a game, if you hear that Damian Lillard is going to be at a game, you know the name. I don't watch a
Sure.
ton of not Raptors games or not playoff basketball. And if Damian Lillard is there, I know who it is. I know who Zion Williamson is. I know who Luka Doncic is. I know who these guys are. In baseball, it's guys that have produced at an upper level. When you look at guys who have been in MVP conversations, obviously Shohei Ohtani is the immediate name that comes to mind. Mookie Betts, like guys like that are top tier superstars, but they're superstars. All-star is where it gets a little dicey for me. Superstar, I can pinpoint. I can tell you that guy's a superstar. He's marketable. I know his name, and I watch the sport regularly, and I'm excited about seeing what he can do on the field, court, ice. In hockey, it's just the guy. It's the guy that's the best player on your team. Usually, every team has at least one like bona fide, got to be or going to be superstar, like either a budding superstar or a new, like, I think that if you're looking at my awful Habs, Nick Suzuki is an easy example of that, where you look at that guy and you go, all right, I can see how you can think of him as a budding superstar. Is he there yet? No. Could he be there soon? Absolutely. Cole Caulfield, same way. You watch him score for the USA there in the U20, and it was unbelievable. And I know that probably made some Americans real sad because he plays for the Habs, but it is what it is. Austin Matthews is a superstar.
Bad
You
mustache.
can look at it. Horrible mustache. Great at scoring goals in the regular season. Only in the regular season. He stops playing hockey after 82 games. It's not his fault.
So
Someone
David
forgot to tell him
Pastrnak
there's
this
more
year.
games.
I
Connor McDavid superstar. Sorry. Connor McDavid superstar. Easy, right? Like, I think superstars are easy to define. I think all-star, that tier below, where you're like, what's an all-star? It's like, well,
Zach Hyman scored 50-something goals, but
Now-
would he have done that without Connor McDavid? Probably not.
Davo, right here, Davo.
Davo, right here. Backboard. Davo.
Davo, backboard.
Davo.
Armchair, I think the difference for me is what's an all-star to you, but I think there's different tiers of stars, because you mentioned of the emphasis of victories, but to me a superstar is about championships, because there should not be a different level of superstar, but there are different levels of stars.
Do you know why I get it?
And
Totally
very quickly before you jump in there, I think in basketball it's a lot more defined, because basketball players play 85% of the game, where hockey they're playing significantly less. And if for an Austin Matthews, for an example, okay, yeah, sure, sure, but I mean, my point is that, yeah, sure, 69 goals and won a Hart, one playoff series. Steven Stamkos, definitely superstar. Austin Matthews, I'm sorry, I'm having trouble doing that.
This is the difference for me, and I'll put it as plainly as I can. Winning championships is fucking hard. It's really fucking hard, and I think that we've just expected that everybody gets to win, and that's not the case. There are a lot of guys who are really fucking good. Dan Marino has exactly 0 Super Bowls, and that doesn't make him less of a player. Doesn't make him less impactful in his era. It didn't make him worse. Does it mean that Brady automatically gets over him because of all the rings? 100%. Does it mean that Marino wasn't a superstar? No, he was a huge superstar. Winning is hard, and in hockey in particular, it's real. The Stanley Cup is stupid hard to win.
I will swear
so
by
hard.
It's the hardest championship to win.
You need not just your best players performing over 4 series of grueling
third line, your fourth line, your goalie, your backup goalie for that one time you 100%. Have to play
I'm with you.
series.
Edmonton got a game-winning goal from Connor Brown. Let's just throw that out there for a second. I mean, it's not like
almost the second one.
Yeah, it's hard to win the Stanley Cup. In baseball, it is incredibly hard, because any given team,
9 guys at least,
even the White Sox will win another game. Even the White Sox will win another game, right? Like, and they are awful. Like, anybody on this panel now will not say the White Sox are a good team.
No,
they're not. They're worst in the league, right?
Horrific.
Will they win more than 17 games this year? Yeah, probably. I mean, it's like 2 more.
Yeah,
it's like one or 2 more, right? Like, even if you didn't mean to, you fall into wins in baseball. Basketball, it's a little easier to win once you're established. Like Dub said, you got your guys in place. You just have to go through. But even then, Kawhi Leonard, dink, dink, dink in. Like that shot changed the course of that championship. Otherwise, we're talking about Joel Embiid, NBA champion. And we're not.
Perhaps.
And we're not, right? Like there's or we're talking about another Kevin Durant championship somewhere. You know what I mean? Like there's an element of luck, and winning is really hard. And I think we have gotten to a point in sports as a whole, as a
NBA
sports watching
championships got me fucking fired up
as
right now.
as a sports watching public, we have put so much or so little value in actually winning that it's just become, well, yeah, it depends on how many rings they have. LeBron has all these rings. Appreciate it. Appreciate how difficult it is to get there. Ray Bork didn't get his cup with Boston.
Colorado.
Got it with Colorado. Adam
Right.
Oates never got one.
Nope.
Like 18th all time in points. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're talking about some of the guys who have been like,
I hear you.
best
I
of
hear
all
you.
time.
And it's
Winning is
very
hard.
gray. It's very gray for me about hockey. And with basketball, it's a lot different because you need more people in hockey, in football, in baseball to win that championship. There's only 8 guys who get that considerable amount of playing time during a basketball playoffs. And with me, obviously, Kawhi Leonard has a special place in our country, Armchair. That goes without saying. I mean, his career has been plagued with injuries. I mean, he did, of course, win 2 finals MVPs, let alone 2 championships. And yeah, with basketball, I mean, for me, and I know this is going to piss off Patcast and Dubs, that when or if Jason Tatum wins that Larry O.B. is when I'm ready to call him a superstar. Damian Lillard is not a superstar. I'm sorry.
I'm not mad at that.
I'm sorry.
Will you call Jaylen Brown a superstar?
You know
He's
what?
done more
Jaylen
than-
Brown.
He's done just as much as Jason Tatum has. I know people want to hate on Tatum for this finals performance. He knows the shot's not there. He knows the offense isn't there. He's had bad turnovers, but guess what? He found ways to impact games. He was a rebound off a triple-double last night. He had a double-double the last game. He's still finding ways to impact the game. Him and Brown have had equal performances in my mind. I don't understand the Tatum hate constantly. It drives me crazy. And Jaylen Brown is probably the most disrespected superstar in the NBA. I agree with you, Milton, in your take that like you to be the elite upper echelon of superstar, you have to lead your team to a finals. I agree with you with that. I think that's a great way to define a superstar. Kawhi's done it. KD's done it. Curry's done it. LeBron's done it. Giannis has done it. Jokic has done it. Outside of that, we haven't really seen it. And even this season, I don't think Tatum's done it. I don't think this roster was so perfectly built. At any given night, White, Porzingis, Brown, Tatum, Holiday, Horford, any of these guys could be the guy any given night. And that's why this team is so deadly. But if you were to consider Tatum a superstar after this one, I think you would have to consider Jaylen Brown one too.
You know, and I definitely agree with that. And Patcast, feel free to chime in whenever you like, because to me, and I'm not just saying this to be a contrarian, I'm really wondering how much success Klay Thompson would have if he didn't have Steph Curry. How much? Some,
but not much.
Because
we'll never
to
know.
me, sure. Because to me, Scottie Pippen is not a superstar. I'm sorry, and I'm not just saying this, just to for the sake of being controversial or being contrarian. But I mean, and yes, he went to Portland and he left the Bulls, and it was at the tail end of his career. But even in his prime, there is no way that he could lead a team to a championship.
So for you, it's the leadership side of things too. Like, I guess
as well.
So marketability has to play a role in here. Anybody want to guess who the number 1 selling NBA jersey was last year? Who had it?
Curry?
It's Curry. It's Steph Curry.
Yeah.
I was going to say Bron, Curry, or Giannis. Those are my top 3.
Giannis is 5.
Who's 2?
Bron is 3. Tatum's 2.
Oh, my guy.
Jason Tatum's 2. And Wemby 4. Of course,
makes
Wemby making sense with the young guy.
Yeah,
Getting in there,
sense.
a lot of hype, ton of hype around him.
Yep.
Wemby's
That's why I didn't want to say LeBron off the rip because he's already been in LA for so long. You got to also pair it with like new jerseys.
But so LeBron, the Lakers
Not
were
the
nowhere
state,
near.
the
Lakers
state's
were nowhere near. Lakers were nowhere near a playoff spot. They were nowhere near good enough. Like realistically, that team was bad. LeBron's still number 3 in jersey sales. He's won. He's the OG, and I get it. But like, De'Aaron Fox was 15th on that list. John Morant is 11th.
Kings jerseys are sick, though.
You want to tell me that Tyrese Maxey was 9th. Tyrese.
Yeah.
Right? And Dame, to your credit, number 10. Number 10 was Dame. LaMelo Ball at 13. Some of these guys have to be superstars, is what I'm saying. Some of them are not.
Jersey.
Some of them are not. And like LA, you can discount that it's the market. Like Lakers gear is always, Raiders gear is always going to sell. Lakers gear is always going to sell. Yankees and Sox gear is always going to sell. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Celtics gear, I kind of put in that category.
It should. Some of
those other guys are
Canadians,
superstars.
Canadians, always sell.
Yeah. No, I mean, if you like, I mean, that's the problem with the Leafs, amongst other things. I mean, they keep changing the logo.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think
still leave shit anywhere I go.
Me too.
I'm in America.
I'm surprised.
In Bruins land.
Truthfully, I'm surprised because I think the problem with the Leafs apparel, unlike the Canadians, is that they keep on changing the emblem.
The one thing that Montreal has done well for the last 100 years of their existence is pomp and fucking circumstance. This team knows how to celebrate itself better than any team in the history of the NHL. They bring out all the old cup winners. They make sure you know they are the New York Yankees of the NHL without winning recently. But they will make sure you remember that it's 23 Stanley Cups.
Okay.
And they will absolutely make sure that you see the logo everywhere. And they don't play around with it. The one time they tried to do those stupid alternate blue jerseys, they didn't win a single game while wearing them. And then you never saw them again. And they were awful.
Back of the closet. Get the fuck back there.
I hated them so much.
You know what? I like all joking is, I thought those baby blues for the one-offs, I thought they were pretty cool.
Armchair hated them. I can already see one of them.
So let me ask the Red Sox fans. I mean, with the Memorial Day yellow and baby blue, do you boys like those jerseys?
I like them.
I didn't like them when they originally came out.
I agree. I didn't like them the first time I saw them. I was
really. I looked at them and I was like, "Are you serious?"
They grew on me quick,
and then they finally grew on me. Like I don't own one, but like if someone wanted to buy me one, I'd wear it. I mean,
does the Red Sox have a City Connect jersey?
Yes,
they've had kind of basic jerseys the way the Yankees have had basic jerseys. It's navy. It's red. It's white. It's the yellow.
Been way better than the Yankees. What do you mean? We're wearing those ones on Friday nights for the longest time.
I'm saying like traditionally they've had similar, like their own.
Back in the Brad Penny days.
It's kind of like the Celtics. They've always had like the generic jerseys until recently, where it's like the
Red Sox keep doing the Heritage Nights too. All those jerseys are sick. Those ones I want all of them. I'm none of them. I'm just a typical middle of the road white guy. But all of those Heritage jerseys are sick.
Here's what I'll say though. Just getting back to the superstar thing, because I've been vocal about this on my show for a long time. We definitely live in an era now of ring count and ring culture that has certainly redefined the way a lot of us see stars versus superstars. And that's not to take away from guys who didn't win a ring in their career, because they still did great things. There's a reason why Chuck is a Hall of Famer, even though he never won. There's a reason why guys like, in his era or other eras who didn't win a championship, they still did great things. Mm-hmm. When I think of the modern era of the NBA, so I'm not talking about like the 2010s, 2000s. I'm talking like today's NBA. I think about the pedestal that fans and media want to put certain players on because of talent, because of marketability, because face of said franchise. And you can point to a lot of guys. For Portland, it was Dame. For Philadelphia right now, it's Embiid. I think the problem is, though, is that we don't have a real definition of success in sports. We are selective in what we feel is success, whether it is they have to win a championship. I'll use Boston as a primary example. We don't put guys in the Raptors because they were just great. We don't put banners up for guys because they were just great. No, we put them up there because they were champions and because they were the most successful players of their era, and they deserve to be in that echelon. If I had to pick a modern NBA player, though, it would probably be Embiid, who in my opinion, I don't see as a superstar. I don't see him as a guy who is capable of being a great player. That's one example.
That's a great example.
Right.
That happened because Randy and I know because we're the older guys here. But Jordan was the thing.
Why is beyond my ears?
Jordan was the thing. When Michael was playing, it was must-watch TV. When he stopped playing, it turned into well, it is. This is why it is why it is.
Yeah, what Armchair is reacting to. Stephen Toe, thank you so much for the comment. It's why the media is still regurgitating Michael Jordan segments over and over again.
Appreciate the MVT coming through. That's one of our loyal listeners, the Ocho. There's a search for the guy. LeBron was the guy that they were hoping it would be. Then it was maybe it's Luka, maybe it's Trey, maybe it's going to be Zion and Ja. Bang bang. All of a sudden it's not, and then it's like, well, who's the next guy? And it's like you're trying. They're grasping at straws. The best example of this forever will be the PGA. When Tiger was done, who were they bringing in to replace? Was it Rory? No. Right now it's Scheffler. Like today, it's Scotty Scheffler.
Once he got arrested, it's solidified it as Scheffler. He's that guy. He's that. But
I mean, I think Rory. But I think Rory would have been great if he was able to get a couple of majors in him.
But he couldn't win.
Some people have the yips.
But you know what?
I mean, until they have the yips.
Armchair, you're talking about golf superstars. I mean, PGA was foaming at the mouth with Bryson and Brooks. But then they go to live. So I mean, yeah. I mean, hey, they got bags and bags now. But I mean, in terms of their marketability, it's kind of taken a hit a lot in the U.S. Absolutely. And here's another comment here from Stephen Toe. NBA is so desperate. Anthony Edwards had a couple of good games, and they wanted to compare him to MJ. And
Ant is not. He's not him. I'm going to tell you right now, he's not him.
And that's a perfect example of
he's a great player, but he's
not. It's an example of people in sports trying to put a guy at a pedestal when he hasn't done anything.
Yeah,
or won.
It's anything. A rush.
It's a
to
rush.
me, that's Dame.
Yeah, it's
a
rush. It's a rush to anoint and crown someone. It's like. Has Wemby played well? Yes. Does he have potential? Absolutely. If he keeps developing, could he be that guy? 100%. But
here's my question. Here, sorry to interrupt, Armchair, but here's my question. Do you think the United States could appreciate Wemby as being that guy because even though he's not American?
They're doing it with Jokic and Doncic, or they're not?
I don't know if they are
prospects since LeBron.
Is Jokic and Giannis the face of the NBA? Okay.
Currently,
I don't know. I mean,
they will always find a guy they'll find another guy. And that's not necessarily
how much hype have the Celtics gotten this offseason?
Yeah.
Or this postseason, excuse me? 0. How much has Anthony Edwards, the Nuggets, and Luka Doncic and the Mavs gotten? All of it.
Tons. Yeah.
All of it. Literally all of it.
People love Luka. They wanted Luka to be it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Luka's a great player, and Luka
fantastic.
is
And if he had any help outside of Kyrie Irving, who's
yes,
so far in his head, you're never going to get him back.
Shout out Mark Cuban.
Right. Shout out
off,
Mark Cuban.
Get off Shark Tank.
Gotta have to get somebody else
third.
besides PJ Washington. That's not a 3. That's a problem.
Think about it though. We're on the verge of having Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum win the NBA Finals, and neither one of them, in a lot of people's minds, could be considered the face of the league.
No,
regardless of what they are about to achieve in terms of success,
playing 82 games a year.
It's just, but I'm just saying, like that's sort of that's the selectivity of where we want to put players. Like,
it is a rush Patcast. You're right that it's a rush to anoint someone the next, because everybody wants to be first. Everybody wants to, instead of watching a guy and that's what it's talking about, appreciate it. Instead of watching a guy develop into that and be like, we're witnessing something special here. We did it in the NFL, they did it with CJ Stroud last year, who had an incredible season as a rookie.
Anointed him king of the league going into his second season.
And now they're talking about, is he the guy that's going to replace Pat Mahomes?
Look at the Texans' odds on fucking any betting app, and you'll see exactly what Armchair is talking about.
And they did the same thing with Josh Allen when he came in. They're like, Josh Allen's going to play Pat Mahomes, but Josh Allen is Phillip Rivers. He's never going to win anything. He's always going to be electric, and he's never going to win anything.
He's the bridesmaid.
No.
And you look at Mahomes, and he's incredible, but it's like, is Mahomes going to take over the league? Probably. It's his league. He's already got the rings. He's already done it. Like, you can't anoint the next one.
All year last year, all anybody said was how this team wasn't good enough to get it done. And guess what? Patrick Mahomes still got it done.
CJ Stroud is going to be a problem for those that
great quarterback.
He's a great quarterback. I don't think he's the next guy. And you got to, like, in hockey, we did it all the time. I mean, we do it all the time in hockey.
Constantly. Every single year.
Guy gets drafted in the top 5. They're like, this guy's going to be the
guy's really good. Cale McCarr, Leon Draisaitl, Connor McDavid, Lafreniere. Every single year.
I have my reservations, but that's only because I think of guys who have been in the league and their projection of talent. Like, this is probably like Dubs. This is probably a terrible example, but it's just the one off the top of my head. Mac Jones has a fantastic rookie year, and he's sort of dubbed like this. He's going to be he's not the greatest, not the best, but he's going to be one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL coming out of his rookie year. And then look at what happened.
Yeah, they wrecked him.
So, like, I look at Stroud, and I'm not denying he's a great talent. I'm not denying he's not a great player. I'm just saying you got to give me more than one season.
100%.
That's all I'm saying.
And that's what I'm saying. More than a rush. And that's, to Randy's point about superstars, I think that it's okay to call someone a star. It's okay to call someone a star. You can call someone an all-star if you really want to.
Yep.
But there does have to be a line where it's like, this guy's a superstar. In the NBA, they just pay everybody too, which makes it particularly difficult because they're like, well, how much does this guy make? And they're like, I don't know, like 45 million. And you're like, what do you mean 45 million? He's a bench player. And they're like, they had to get to the cap floor.
Jordan Poole is a pickup player, and he's leading a team. He's leading a franchise. That's the face of your program.
Bol is making 25 million a year, and you're like, what? That guy, Manute Bol's kid?
He didn't get playoff minutes. That guy's making 25 million.
Shout out to Jeremy
just never
Lin,
understand
Raptors
how
champion.
the NBA. I'll never understand their frequent attempts to put a guy somewhere, but they haven't. Like, I truly feel there are guys in this league who have already been put on that tier or that category, and I firmly believe they're not going to accomplish anything.
They won't.
And Joel Embiid is never going to win a championship. Period. End of story.
Probably not. Tyrese Maxey's
I don't know if he's going to do it in Philly.
Tyrese Maxey's already replaced him as the number 1 jersey seller there. So,
like James Harden's overrated.
I could not agree more.
The last 5 years, yeah.
What is he?
He hasn't been a superstar in a while, but when he was the best shooting guard in the league, he was the best shooting guard in the league for 5 years.
It's like the same with Embiid. He won an MVP. Who cares?
For sure. He didn't win shit. That's fine. He's not a true superstar, but he was the best shooting guard in the league for a bit.
Where did that MVP come in handy in Game 7 at TD Garden? Meant nothing. Your MVP means nothing.
No,
I'm just
Jason
saying that
Tatum dropped 50
OKC
on you.
team though. That OKC team could have been something.
Well, it
call
looks
me
like
100%.
You
If
can call
they
me
found a way to
biased,
keep that together, they would have won 3 to 4 rings at least.
Yeah.
You can call me biased though, because I felt that way about MVPs my entire life. I felt like I don't care who wins an MVP. I don't care what it's for me. You have to win it. You have to win the big one. So
I disagree with that, but we don't have to get into that.
we'll do it on my show.
Stephen Toe with, and I hope I'm pronouncing his last name correctly.
Tao.
Tao. Excuse me. Sorry, Stephen. Once again, with another comment, when Harden knew how to get foul calls, and that is exactly what pisses me off.
Well, they literally
made
the James Harden rule,
and they stopped calling it.
Right.
I mean, like they were
stopped calling the
something.
Marcus Smart rule too. Everyone stopped flopping.
Oh, man.
So good.
I mean, NBA. That's the one thing that basketball needs to. I don't know why.
They had to have burned an
scared.
effigy of him before this playoff run.
You know what? You know who I really feel bad for?
I
feel bad for Grant.
I don't. Not a bit. I feel bad for Marcus Smart. Grant Williams is.
Oh, no, but you got to understand. Here's a guy who was on both teams in the last 2 years, and now he's.
And why is he off of them? Because of him. Because of him being an asshole and demanding too much money. And he gets a ring from the Mavericks. If the Mavericks,
I think he gets a ring from the Mavericks.
If in theory Dallas did win, he still gets a ring,
one,
right?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense to me. If I'm not mistaken, Armchair, correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't Jonas Valanciunas get a ring for 2019?
They gave him one, but they didn't have to.
Him and Andrea Bargnani are my favorite 2 Raptors of all time. I love both of them.
Goes into the Hall of Fame. Hey, look, he's got a ring. Let's look at the highlights.
I love Valanciunas.
Where is he?
They gave JV a ring. They weren't required to. He wasn't part of the rule that would have been like you have to, but they felt some loyalty. They felt some loyalty there, and a little bit of like sadness that he didn't get to be part of the team. But we needed a Gasol and a Kawhi to do it.
Not a DeMar and a Jonas.
No, for sure.
It's no Hito Turkoglu, but we'll take it. Hito, how do you feel about this game? Ball.
I don't know if
you guys got to look it up.
Dubs.
No, I know. Hito's a dog.
Ball.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, it was a post-game comment with the color guy years ago. The 20 minutes. No, the color commentator, not. No, Jack Armstrong was the one who dropped the question on Hito. Yeah. But anyway, I digress.
I love Hito Turkoglu, the demon.
Not me. So, guys, why don't we make our way over to hockey? Of course, the Stanley Cup Final is underway. Game 2 is happening as we speak. And
nothing.
Thank you very much. And obviously, it's been a number of years, number of decades since Lord Stanley has found its way north of the American border. And Armchair, I got to say, speaking on behalf of residents in the greater Toronto area, there's a lot of hockey fans, Leaf fans, who are really hoping that the Edmonton Oilers can do it. For a man in the great province of Nova Scotia, what's the scene like over there? Is it the same sentiment where...
Yeah, we don't care.
No, eh?
No.
It's not you. You don't care, right?
So here's the thing.
Not my Canadians.
I don't have any pro sports except for Major League Lacrosse. We have an NLL team here.
Okay.
The Halifax Thunderbirds. No major hockey.
Shout out the Goon movies. Highlanders.
Yeah, the Goon movies. Excellent.
They represented Halifax well.
They really did. Shorzy also.
Still better than Caddyshack. Fuck you, Zach Intro.
Yes. Color cast. We don't care. We don't care. Look, we don't have a major sports franchise here outside of the lacrosse team. We don't really. I've never been. Do I want Edmonton to win? Yes, and I've made the predictions live on the Ocho, and I explained my reasoning why I want to see McDavid win. Once my team is out, which this season was somewhere around October 6th or 7th, which is like the second week of their second game of the season. I think that I start to look for guys to root for. And in this case, there's a couple of guys on the Panthers that I'd love to see win it. And there's a couple of guys on the Oilers I'd love to see him win it. Dmitry Orlov, come on, man. He hasn't won
all of them.
forever.
Every single
Bob?
one of them can
You
get
don't even want
fucked.
Bob?
I hope they stub their toe every
The brick
morning
Bob?
for the rest of their lives.
Also,
Both
Dubs.
big toes right off the bedpost.
Also,
How
Dubs.
about that? Enjoy that every morning.
A little salty, are we still from Game 7?
And for 2 years, I've been salty. Fuck the Florida Panthers.
We don't care.
They've robbed me of happiness for the 730
They're
days.
the reason Bergeron retired. We will never forgive you. Kachuk.
Yeah, they're a little filthy. I don't have a dog in the fight. I hope the Oilers win so McDavid gets to hoist a cup and we can stop hearing about Connor's going to come to Toronto bullshit that is never going to happen.
Never going to happen.
I hope he leaves just to fuck shit up. It'll be fun for me.
He's
never going to come
What if he
here.
goes to Florida?
He wouldn't go to Florida.
He would never.
No, of course.
Sunrise, Florida. You think Connor McDavid's going to Sunrise, Florida?
No state tax.
Chance.
Whatever that is.
He would be happier going to Ohio.
Utah, Venom, or whatever they're going to be. I don't
be the Mammoth.
I got to be honest with you. I don't care. I like and no one in the province. Like, you're not seeing anybody here. Like, you're not seeing a ton of Oiler flags except for Alberta transplants. Sure. And I think the general consensus around a Canadian team winning the cup is, if it's not your team, nobody really gives a shit. There's all this, like, there's a big push to, like, bring the cup back to Canada. But, like, truthfully, if it's not the Habs doing it, I could give a F. I'm Seacrest out on it. I like the Oilers because of McDavid, Draisaitl. I think they deserve one because it's good when the best player in your sport gets an opportunity to win. But outside of that, no concern.
You know, my first go around with hockey was during those Gretzky Oilers, and I mean, they brought the jersey back. Of course, they had the 5-spoke for a stretch there during the Ryan Smith years, and to see that logo, like, believe me, I am not an Oilers guy at all, and we're not seeing any Oilers paraphernalia all throughout the streets of Toronto, but I think there is something to the cup potentially coming back to Canada. Mainly because I think that there's an inferiority complex of stars playing on Canadian teams. Yeah, sure. Austin Matthews re-signed. And, Carey Price. I mean, he could have left Montreal, but he stayed his entire career, along with the Sedin twins and so on. But you saw Matthew Tkachuk. You saw Johnny Gaudreau leave the first opportunity they could. And I don't know if this is going to move the needle at all if Edmonton wins a cup, but I think it would be cool to see. That being said, I mean, I think it's great when Vegas wins as well, because
Randy, have you been to Edmonton?
I have not.
Yeah, no one wants to go. No one wants to go. You think people are clamoring to get to Winnipeg?
Nope.
Fuck no.
Okay, then tell me about. Very quick, if I may interject, I mean, tell me about Green Bay, Wisconsin. I mean, why are people going to go there? Green Bay?
Shout out Lily, but I'm sorry.
History, but it's history. It's and people don't want to go there. People don't want to go there. Edmonton. Yeah, but there was a chance to win. You were, as soon as Aaron's gone, no one wants to win. You know why people went to Tampa? Because Tom Brady was there. You think people aren't clamoring to go to Tampa with Baker there?
Nope.
They're not running off to be like, I got to.
They weren't clamoring to be there when Bruce Arians was there before Tom Brady.
No, it's like there's reasons people go places, and you're right. There are stars that have left Canada. Part of that is because we pay a stupid high tax for the legal weed. Thank you, and the healthcare. But we also, would you rather just bank more of your money and have a lot less pressure? Like, the media attention is certainly higher up here on hockey than it is on any other sport. Sure. And if you had the opportunity, if you're Matt Tkachuk, are you staying in Calgary? Or are you going you're going to go to Florida and hang out with your family more? Like, nobody wants to be in Columbus. Nobody
I'll
like
go
it's
to
not.
the
It's not
beach.
just.
Thank you very much.
It's not just Canada either. Like, good luck getting a superstar who wants to go to Columbus.
Nobody wants
That's
to
where
go to
you
Boston.
go to. That's where you go to die.
Well,
You
But
know.
they
but
don't.
it's been forever. I mean, with the state now, maybe Dubs and Patcast can confirm if you know which states don't have state tax. But I mean, it took
Texas.
forever.
We certainly do.
We
Which is
definitely
again
do.
why people don't want to come here.
Texas.
They're going to take half of your fucking paycheck.
Just ask
So-
Calvin Ridley's girlfriend.
Anybody that lives here. Hey, guess what? Taxes.
That was-
suck.
That was why. That's why
Tough.
people went to play for the Rockets when they weren't good. There was a long
But
time,
I mean,
long time
okay.
ago, there was no state tax, so you get you take more of your super ridiculous contract. You just take it home. That's why people go to play. I mean, it's easy in the NFL. It's easier to kind of draw that line because really you're playing in the NFL. You're making a ton of money. Like there's an argument to be made that you're playing for a better team. But like
Christian Watkins is going to be making $100 million to be hurt for 12 games this year.
Yes.
It's gonna be dope.
in
Shout out Las
hockey,
Vegas.
there are a ton of guys that spout about how incredible it is to live in the Bay Area and play for San Jose. You know, that team that couldn't win a game last year, they were like horrendous for forever. And guys did not care. Like people playing for the Ducks, they're like, yeah, whatever. I'm still in California.
Yeah,
Same
but I
thing.
mean,
Still go to the
But
I'm
beach.
going to
and no
lose
one
this
bothers
hockey
me.
game and then go straight to the beach.
Nobody's going to
Yeah.
bother me, and I get more of my
think-
money.
I think what I'm getting to and alluding to is that with football, I don't know. You guys correct me if I'm wrong. Like we're not seeing players take a pay cut to go to a team like they do in basketball. With the state taxes and the no state tax in Florida, not a lot of people are flocking to Orlando to play for the Magic. I mean, with the Panthers, it's taken forever to get something cooking over in South Beach for hockey. And I don't know. I mean, I just like, but with Canada, there is, and what you might want to call it if it was bad scouting or what have you, but there just doesn't seem to be that kind of. Maybe it's just I'm just so jaded because of the Raptors and their lack of
It's
success
not
with
that,
the
though.
free agent market.
It's not that. It's you gotta have the right formula, and you gotta have the right guys that want to come here. You don't want a guy that
Right.
that doesn't want to be there either. Like, did Kawhi want to leave? Yeah, he wanted to go home, and like I don't know if you can. I don't know if you can fault the guy for wanting to go home. And in the NHL, you see guys like there are a lot of markets that suck. There's a ton of markets that they're just awful in hockey. And there are a bunch that are really nice, but guys that want to play are gamers and they'll go anywhere until they start losing a ton and then they want to win and they're later in their careers. And then you can start ring chasing. But like until then, guys will play on the Sharks for 5 or 6 losing seasons, no problem.
They get traded to Vegas and put on the LTIR.
That's right.
Well, guys, look, I mean, this has been such a great chat. I can't believe an hour and a half has already swam by. Why don't we jump ahead to the very end? I did want to get your reaction, guys, and take part in a rapid fire segment that I like to call Straight Facts or Bro Relax. So as I explained before we went to air, I'm going to drop a statement to you three. And if you agree, you're going to say straight facts. If you don't agree, you're going to say bro relax. And then you're going to tell me why. Patcast, let's start with you. And, beyond the NBA Finals, a lot of news has been circulating with regards to the LA Lakers and what they're going to do with their head coaching job. It seems obvious and has been reported that Dan Hurley of the Yukon Huskies is not going to be a part of the mix. He is going to stay and try and win that elusive third
Good move.
consecutive national title. But there has been between Darvin Ham and potentially JJ Redick that there is a possibility that the new head coach for the Lakers could be an inexperienced one. Now that Dan Hurley is going back to UConn, the Lakers may hire a rookie coach like a JJ Redick. Patcast, straight cast, facts or bro relax?
I think there's validity. I mean, we still don't know if Redick is in or out on the deal. That whole thing with Hurley came out of nowhere, and I think a lot of people just openly assumed that meant Redick turned it down, and that they were just kind of looking for the next Brad Stevens-esque guy coming out of college into the NBA. Now, I think ultimately the Lakers have a lot more problems than coaching, and I think a lot of people agreed that let's just call it what it is. He didn't deserve to get fired. He wasn't the problem, you know. Darvin Ham, right, the head coach of the Lakers before, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he just got
a lot of people
gig
didn't
in
think he deserved to get
Milwaukee.
fired. There's a lot more problems with that team than coaching. So maybe they feel like it's the conservative thing to do to bring in a rookie, whereas they can have kind of more say, maybe a bit more control. Maybe it makes LeBron happy. Maybe it kind of stabilizes a few things in the locker room. But, I mean, at the end of the day, so much has to be done with the Lakers that it's not just solely going to be because of coaching. LeBron's a free agent. Who knows what's going to happen there? Nothing. He's going to stay. We're like, what's going to happen with AD? Nothing. So much is going to accumulate this offseason with them. And whether or not they do get a Redick, whether or not they do get maybe a veteran, for all we know, they get a guy out of nowhere. Like what just happened with Hurley, where it's like we heard nothing, nobody said a word, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, yeah, we've been talking to him for 2 months now, and we just never told you about it. So I think it's very possible to bring in the rookie, but it would have more to do with control over the organization and control over the roster than it would be over someone who would want to integrate their own type of system with an aging veteran superstar who historically hasn't done well with a lot of coaches.
Definitely seems to be the case. And obviously, if a coach is going to have a long run in LA, it will definitely be after LeBron's career ends. Armchair, we are going to be seeing a new chapter in the NHL with the team coming out of Utah. Of course, the Arizona Coyotes are moving northeast, whatever the direction is. Salt Lake City is between them and Salt Lake and Phoenix. My geography is not the greatest. However, there has been talk of potentially Phoenix getting a new NHL franchise along with Atlanta, which would be the third go around in the city of Atlanta.
Thrashers 2, Electric Boogaloo.
But there has been a couple of whispers here and there of potentially Vancouver getting an NBA team. Could Montreal get the Montreal Expos back? Could there be a second NHL team in Toronto? However, I'm thinking that Phoenix and hockey will return. Maybe not so much specifically within Phoenix, but Scottsdale and in Arizona. Hockey returning to Arizona will happen before a Canadian team enters the NHL, NBA, or Major League Baseball. Straight facts or bro relax, Armchair?
It's a little bit of bro relax. I don't think a Canadian team comes back anytime soon, but I don't think it goes back to the desert either. I think that Gary Bettman will do, and he'll put a hockey team in Green Bay before he puts a hockey team in Quebec again. Gary Bettman hates Canada. The market is a pain in the ass for him. We have different currency. You got to convert everything. He's a lawyer. If he ever leaves, then we'll get the Nordiques back at some point. But if not, then no. But will we get it in the desert again? Hell no. Hell no. That like the Phoenix is dead. Arizona's dead. I know they own the rights to the Coyotes. They couldn't get a stadium done in 4 or 5 or 6 or 11 or whatever it was years. They've been awful. They finally got a decent product, and they couldn't fill the college stadium enough to make it work. They were making players play in a Thunderdome nonsense thing. So it's a no for me, dog. I'm a straight Randy Jackson on this one.
Very quickly, I wonder if the Coyotes had the success like the Avalanche, where they won 3 cups. They're a consistent threat to do well in the playoffs. They've only won 3 playoff rounds since since they moved from Winnipeg to Phoenix.
Yeah.
Let's say they did win a couple of play. And actually, I was in Phoenix last month, and apparently Scottsdale's the place to be.
Yeah.
That's where the entertainment dollar is. And
Yeah, but it's not hockey. It's not hockey. Hockey's not the entertainment dollar. Also, 3 playoff wins, playoff series wins in Phoenix, which is still more than your Toronto Maple Leafs.
Got him.
Hey, I could take the hit. I'm sorry. I'm a lovable loser. I will ride and die with blue and white. Say whatever you want.
It's all good fun anyway. But yes,
of course.
The defunct team, the team that no longer exists, currently has more playoff wins than yours. So they're gone. They're gone and they're gone and they're dead. And we should bury them and mourn their loss. And R.I.P. Phoenix.
Very, very quickly, Dubs. A lot of news with regards to LeBron James is circulating around his son.
So much.
And
his son's fine. I don't care about Bronny, but LeBron,
he has definitely changed his tune. Whatever your thoughts are on LeBron lately, it's all about his kid. 1 year at USC. Apparently, he's only accepted workouts with 2 teams, the Lakers being one of them. However, there is a possibility that Bronny James may not get drafted.
He should.
May or may not get drafted in the upcoming NBA draft. However, I think there will be a team desperate enough to take Bronny James with the possibility of LeBron playing alongside with him. Dubs, Bronny James will be drafted in the upcoming NBA draft. Straight facts or bro relax?
It should be relaxed, but it's probably going to happen. I don't think he should be drafted. I don't think he's good enough to play in the NBA, but he's going to be drafted by the Lakers more than likely just because it's LeBron, late GM, whatever you want to call him. He's the one calling the shots over there, especially with no current head coach. Like, who's the person you're going to? It's LeBron James. Exactly. They have the picks. They're going to draft his son. It shouldn't happen, but it's going to. He's a fine player. He's not an NBA player. And you want to add in the fact that he had like a heart scare like 6 months ago, however long it was ago now. It's not somebody you want to spend a pick on, especially when he's already being this picky. Like, I'm only working out for 2 teams. I only want a 1-way contract. I won't do a 2-way. Like, I'm good. I want no part of that. If LeBron wants to draft him, it's going to happen.
Shake, you're giving yourself too much credit.
I want to give a shout out to Jake Cardinale, friend of the show, who has dropped a lot of love to LeBron James.
He loves
such
LeBron.
Things. But yeah, no, absolutely, guys. Really want to thank you so much for this. Really, really energetic debate, and really hope that we get to do it soon.
We got to do this again, definitely.
Absolutely. For Armchair, Patcast, and Dubs, I'm Randy Kure. This is What's Up the Sports Podcast. Hope you're doing well and keeping safe. We will talk to you next time.
Go Pack, go.
Thanks so much, boys.